Today's stories include Amazon's Like a Dragon series first look, a new Astro Bot controller, and new Starfield expansion possibly revealed. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Monday, July 29th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is The Lock, Roger Bacorny.
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
What's this? Is this a new Gen Z thing?
What up? I'm just getting the energy up. You know what I mean? You got to repeat things. It's like an affirmation.
I don't know what affirmation is.
I don't know what affirmations are. I don't know what a lot of things are, but I say it sometimes.
It's like you're speaking things into existence, right? You're speaking positive.
I'm speaking what up.
That's not how that works. Because then it's like,
but isn't that?
It's more so if you were like, I'm up. You know
okay,
what I mean? I'm good. I'm excited.
Yeah, my therapist was telling me about affirmations, and I just like, sure, yeah, just kind of.
You were
like,
just nodding along.
Just nodding along, yeah.
I do that sometimes. Yeah, when my therapist says big words, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, my therapist has been doing the thing where it's like, hey, we're gonna like have like a moment of like gratitude, and we're gonna like have like a bell, like a gong or whatever that's gonna go off, and we're gonna meditate. I'm like, I don't want to look at them and be like, it's a little much. a little much.
Are you doing a video therapy?
No,
or
it's in person, which is even worse.
They have a gong. They have a gong in their office.
Yeah. They have a whole thing. They're very spiritual. It's a whole thing, everybody.
You're going to a spiritual therapist.
Yeah, but like,
I don't view you as a spiritual person.
Sometimes. I'm not. No. It's like a coincidental thing where like they're not normally spiritual, but sometimes they're like, okay, we got some tarot cards. I'm like, whoa.
Like, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah, I didn't expect this.
She's like, what's your sign?
Yeah.
It turns out it's a date.
Yeah,
it's on a date.
But yeah, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. I told you my weekend plans, which was I went to a birthday party in an Airbnb over in Redwood City. My friend Meg rented out an Airbnb. It was a fun time, except for the fact that get to this Airbnb, a lot of like American flags outside this Airbnb, and I'm like, of course, support the country. You know, do what you got to do. I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah, but it's like, but there's a certain number of American flags where you're like, oof.
There's a certain number of like signs that say "God bless America," where I'm like, I feel like America's blessed with the amount of signs that you have. Right. Like, we can pare down on these, but I go inside and there are people already there, right? And like everybody's looking at the fridge, and I'm like, oh, what's on the fridge? Everybody's standing around the fridge, and I'm like, what's on the fridge? And on the fridge are these like donation receipts to the Donald Trump campaign, and we're like, oh, okay, no,
is that the only thing on the fridge?
There's like multiple Donald Trump like references,
but there's no like family photos.
Well, no, there's family. There's no family photos.
That's the weirdest part.
There's no family photos on the fridge. It's just Trump receipts, and it's like, oh, okay. And then we go to their living room. They have like a library sort of section. Like they have a lot. This is a very rich person Airbnb, right? They have a lot of books. When I tell you that a percentage of these books were like Zionism, pro-Israel, Israel's right to exist, like all this stuff, and we're like, oh man, this is aggressive.
They had the Don Jr. book as well.
Yeah, they had the Don. Yeah,
they had the Don Jr. book, bro. Gotta have the JD Vance book. Gotta have it all right there. Jesus
a lot of
Christ.
stuff in this Airbnb that like was trying to kill the vibe.
Yeah.
But hey, they had a hot tub. We used the fuck out of that hot tub. And I was like, you know
Nerf
what?
guns.
This hot tub washed all my fear away of being in this Airbnb. And I will say, though, that the hot tub did not get hot enough. And it's like, come on, man. What are we doing here? I was just in there 87-degree hot tub. We were like letting it boil for a little bit. You gotta let it boil. And like we came back an hour later, 89 degrees. And it's like still not hot enough. We gotta get that hotter.
What is the hot level for a hot tub? Like what's the number you're looking for?
I don't know.
I don't think about this.
I actually don't. This is a question for chat for people who are like familiar with hot tub temperatures. I will say being in that hot tub for when it was just warm, it just felt very lukewarm. It didn't feel hot. Yeah, June Down said in chat says 102 is the spot.
Why does everyone know 102? Holy shit,
everybody's saying 102, 103 to 105. That sounds about right.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. But we're sitting in this hot tub. I think the hottest it got was 91. I'm just sitting there like, oh, no, it's not hitting the spot. But it was fun. We had a Nerf gun war.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of adults playing with Nerf guns. And it was actually a fantastic time.
What type of Nerf guns are we talking about? Like the one and dones, or are you having like the machine guns? Like, are you doing like the ones that pull back and then are just like?
I'm so glad you asked, Roger, because there were about 17 people at this Airbnb. There were about 20 something guns, I want to say.
Yeah.
And
did someone buy these guns for the event?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Meg, whose birthday it was.
Yeah.
She's.
I didn't know she had it on her like that. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. No, she's from the Midwest, and she's like, in the Midwest we do Nerf gun wars, and so she bought a bunch of Nerf guns of different varieties, and she made this game based off of what's the Half-Life mod, like a Gary's mod game.
Yeah. Which one?
I think it was like some kind of like social deduction.
Trouble in Terrortown?
I think Trouble in Terrorist Town. I think it was a rule set based off of that, where
It's Among Us
she
pretty
would
much, right?
she would hand out cards, and based on you would have 2 cards. One of the cards would tell you the kind of gems you're looking for, because Meg hid a bunch of gems around the house. Yes,
That's very Meg.
it's very complex. She hid a bunch of gems around the house, so you would have your first card would tell you, oh, these are the gems you're looking for. Once you find those gems, you then get to exchange them to buy a gun.
Oh.
And it's first come, first serve. So if you find your gems first, you can get the gun with like 16 rounds in it.
Yeah.
But if you're one of the last people to find your gems, you're getting the one-shot weapons, right? And so that's one side of it. The other card tells you if you're a good or bad, essentially. I think we were trying to stay away from using terrorists as a thing. So like if you're a good guy or a bad guy, and then there are detectives. So like if you go down, like say anybody can shoot anybody. If you get shot, then you have to like play dead on the ground.
Sure.
If you're dead on the ground, a detective can come to you and ask, are you a good or bad person? And you have to answer honestly. Mm-hmm. And then the whole thing of it is, if you're one of the last people alive and you're a bad person, then you win the whole thing. But if the good people get all the bad people out, then the good people win. Very fun time.
The gem modifier, that's interesting.
The gem modifier was fun.
Was there not enough guns for everybody? Is that the reason why?
No, it was just there are some guns that are better than others, right?
Okay.
You want the 16 round, you don't want the one shot gun.
Yeah.
Gems were fun. Only lasted the first round. I think people just wanted to shoot each other.
Yeah.
So in the second round, we're like, all right, forget it.
It takes a long time to put the gems in other place. You have
That's
to pull
the
out
other thing.
You have to pull out the pro-Israel books, kind of put it behind there. It's a lot of things.
Rehiding the gems wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that, it was all right. Here's just a number. Whoever gets called first, you get to pick your gun first, and then that determines who gets the guns. Very fun time.
Yeah.
I recommend if you're having a birthday, if you're having a 30th birthday, because it's Meg's 30th birthday as well.
Yeah.
But rent out of Airbnb, have a Nerf gun war. It'll change your life.
And hide some gems, everybody.
Because let me tell you, Nerf gun war. The game ended. The Nerf guns didn't stop.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire day.
No. Did anyone get mad at each other? Because I feel like that sometimes that happens. Where
I thought it was gonna happen, but I think everybody was the perfect amount of like annoying and kiddie, but then also the perfect amount of like, all right, I know when to stop. Like I know when the vibe is shifting away from the Nerf guns because we've been doing this for too long.
That's good. I like that.
It was a fun weekend.
That's nice.
You have a fun weekend?
Yeah, I didn't do much. We had a gamer weekend for first time in a while. Leanson and I, we don't really play games together because I don't know. We just haven't set it up in our apartment. So this weekend we looked at each other and I was like, hey, you would love Marvel Rivals. I know you're not really a multiplayer shooter person or whatever. Like you're gonna like Marvel Rivals, Leanza. And she's like, okay, let me set it up. We brought the Series S into her office. We set it all up. I figured out my headphones. I have the Raycons, gaming headphones. I figured it all out. It works now. It sounds like shit, but it works. And we played Marvel Rivals all day on Saturday. And man, that game is awesome. But we're having an issue because she's very much like the person that every time we order Chinese food, she orders the same thing and she hates that same thing, but she refuses to try anything else.
She doesn't want to change.
Same thing with Marvel Rivals, where she's like, I'm playing Punisher. I understand Punisher, but I'm scared of everything else and I'm having a tough time because I'm fucking hitting my wall as Punisher. I'm like, why don't you try like Hella or I don't know, anyone else? She's like, I'll stick with Punisher. Yeah. But we had a good time. Marvel Rivals is fucking awesome. I don't know. We have to figure out Game of the Year stuff. I know that it's in closed beta. I know it's probably not coming out in full release. I think it's confirmed until next year, right? Like, this has to be one of my Game of the Years. Like, I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. You
are not going to remember. By the time the beta is done, you're not going to recall this in December.
It is scratching that itch that I did not know I had in a real way. Like, I'm logging on every day. I'm having so much fun. It has so much intricacy with all of these characters, and they all play differently. Like, it's so fun. I think this is going to be number 10 on my list.
My thing with the whole Game of the Year with betas and stuff, because like obviously I'm the one that y'all sent your votes into, and I kind of help like lead that project. Is like I just don't feel great about like if people write in Hades 2 this year.
Yeah,
I don't feel great about it possibly being on our top 10 this year, but then again being eligible next year. You know,
number 10 this year, number 1 next year.
See,
think about that.
Nah, I don't like it.
I just haven't played a beta or a demo where I'm like, this feels complete, right? Like even with Marvel Rivals, I'm like, this could use a few more modes. Like that's like there are reasons why I wouldn't put it on my top 10. But of course, I'm not gonna yuck your yums. Stomach Mike's out here putting fucking anything on his top 10. So I'm like, oh, anything goes.
If Chained Together ends up on his top 10, I could put Marvel
Rivals. I try so hard.
My argument against that isn't Chained Together a complete game right now?
Yeah, but you know, if we put this game out as a complete game, I think I might. I think I might put it
at a certain point. You got to be honest with yourself and ask: is Chained Together a top 10 video game of the year?
For Mike,
And for Mike,
It is.
It is.
It's not going to be on our full list because he's going to be the only one who votes for it.
and
but-
what I've learned is that you just got to stop trying with Game of the Year. You just got to stop taking it seriously. Because like I take my top 10 so seriously.
Yeah.
And I was on Facebook as I do.
Your homepage, by the way.
My
which we learned.
homepage, which is
Your
Facebook,
homepage.
and like the day after Game of the Year, I saw a Facebook post. I was like, so somebody was talking about our Game of the Year, and there was a comment in there. Because for some reason I clicked into the comments of my Facebook post,
bless.
and a comment was on there like
Facebook comments.
blessing likes to be a contrarian or whatever,
Yeah, I
and
get
I'm
that
like.
too.
8 out of 10 of my games are on our top 10. If you want to look at a contrarian,
Super
I think Mike had
contrarian.
0 out of 10 games on that thing. Yeah, like 2 out of 10 games.
Yeah, so I'm going to put Marvel Rivals.
So yeah, you just got to take it laid back. Put Marvel Rivals on there.
I might put Alan Wake too. You know what I mean? Fuck it. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
might
what
put-
if? What if?
DLC, I feel better about than like a beta of a game.
I might put the Concord beta on there, not the Concord final game. Just to mess
That'd be
with people.
awesome. Concord beta.
The beta though, the beta specifically that I had a great time with.
Fuck yeah.
Roger, enough of all that. Let's talk about today's news. Remember, this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. We're an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. Today, after Kind of Funny Games Daily, you're going to get GAMESCAST, which might actually be a screencast because they're talking about the San Diego Comic-Con hype that's been going around.
Yep.
Of course, San Diego Comic-Con has been a bunch of announcements. Of course, you saw the Marvel stuff. They're going to talk about all the non-Marvel stuff in the show right after this. The Marvel stuff is going to be saved Kind of Funny podcast recording later today. And of course, if you're a Kind of Funny member, you can get that Kind of Funny podcast this afternoon live, but then also tomorrow on YouTube and on podcast services. The stream though, after the GamesCast/Screencast, is going to be Andy playing Angerfoot for now.
With his feet.
With his feet.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's busting out the grippers.
Busting out these grippers.
He's busting out the grippers, putting on the keyboard, and playing that Devolver Digital game. If you're a Kind of Funny member, of course, you can also get today's Gregway. And then in case you missed it, a new episode of Kinda Anime is now live on YouTube and on podcast services and on the Screencast feed. Go check that out. It's Barrett. It's Mike talking all about that anime. I heard they're talking about Freerun, which is really good. Freerun.
Oh.
Have you seen Freerun?
No.
I gave it a 10 on the kind of anime episode, so you hear me talk about it.
Good ass
Love that.
anime. You should watch it.
I'm going to watch the Kaiju show that you told me to watch.
Kaiju number 8 we also talked about.
Can I watch that at the gym? Is that a gym show?
Yeah.
Get me
I think
hyped?
it's a gym
Fuck
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like
100%. We also talk about if the recent episode of Demon Slayer is actually a 3 out of 10. Also as well, My Hero Academia, of course.
Of course.
What's the vibe on Demon Slayer with you, Barrett? You like Demon Slayer?
I fucking love it.
Fair.
I think it, like, honestly, in terms of like animation quality, they deliver, I would say, movie level animation like in these last few seasons, and it's insane. And they always
I agree
outdo
with
themselves.
that. The animation quality of Demon Slayer is fucking fantastic. I, for some reason, can never get into the story.
Oh.
Like there's something in terms of plot there that is missing for me. Like I watched all the way through season 1, and it felt more spectacle than substance.
Wow.
I was always blown away by like the
Interesting.
fights and the animation. But
I would say I didn't really get into it until the arc after the first season. Like I was like enjoying it fine that first season, and then the Mugen Train arc was when I was like, okay, we got something here.
Train.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays Hymns and our Portillo merch, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number 1. Roger, this is number 1 because you're on the show.
Let's go.
You're the Like a Dragon / Yakuza fan in my life.
Let's go.
Of course, there is a Like a Dragon Yakuza series coming to Amazon. I'm pulling from Andrew Webster at The Verge because we have our first look at it. Kiryu is getting a live-action makeover very soon. At Comic-Con today, Amazon revealed the first look at its upcoming adaptation of the Yakuza game series, with the show Like a Dragon Yakuza, not to be confused with the game Yakuza Like a Dragon. The streaming series will follow original Yakuza hero Kazuma Kiryu. Amazon says that the show showcases modern Japan and the dramatic stories of these intense characters, such as the legendary Kazuma Kiryu, that games in the past have not been able to explore. Kiryu will be played by Ryoma Takeuchi, while Kento Kaku also stars as Akira Nishikiyama. The series is directed by Masaharu Take. Of course, Yakuza joins a wave of gaming adaptations for TV, which has included The Last of Us HBO, Peacock's Twisted Metal, and Amazon's own live-action take on Fallout. Yakuza publisher Sega, meanwhile, has already seen success expanding Sonic the Hedgehog with movies and spin-off series. Like a Dragon Yakuza starts streaming on Prime Video on October 24th with its first 3 episodes. Of course, this trailer came out, or this first look, I should say, came out on Friday. Raj, I assume you've already seen it.
Yeah, I watched it as soon as Barrett told me not to watch it, so that was fun. I'm interested in this. I like this teaser. It is a teaser. That's what it is. It's not showing a lot of the actual, hey, this is what's going on with Kiryu. Here's what's going on with Majima. They don't even show Majima. Like it is just a tone setter of like, hey, we're doing it. Get ready. They even show some of the clips from the games of like, hey, the games? We're making this into a show now. It's interesting because it says here, I assume that's correct, is that it says modern day Japan, correct?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, because Kiwami 1 and 2 do not take place in modern day. It is 2000s or early 2000s, 95, around there.
I wonder, because I saw one of the promotional images, I could have sworn it said like 1995 and then 2005, like a lot can happen in a decade. So that might be
a mistake.
Like either a mistake or like maybe they interpret modern differently.
Yeah,
maybe they're like modern compared to like what you saw in Shogun. Like everybody just watched Shogun, so let's make sure that people know that it's modern Japan. Modern being 2005.
Yeah, okay, good. That makes sense. Yeah, because I didn't get modern Japan vibes from that at all.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, no, I'm into it. For me, it's not really much to say, just because we have not seen too much out of this. But
can you run it back?
Yeah,
because I didn't get to see much.
Did you watch it at all?
No.
Can we do a whole like audio?
Yeah, can we watch it with sound? Yeah, I'm down to live react.
If that's okay. Oh, he's ready. It's the game.
That's a video game. I recognize those characters.
It's a tattoo.
This music is nice.
He's getting tattooed.
Man punching that air, looking like Nick Scarpino in his prime. I love Kebabs in chat. Is this how tattoos work? I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. This looks more dramatic than I was expecting.
Yeah. Oh.
This looks way more dramatic. You got tears coming out of men's eyes.
I'm in.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, Yakuza is extremely dramatic. What's your history with the Yakuza franchise?
So Yakuza is always that one where I will play the first 7 to 8 hours of a game and then just fall off because another game would come out, right? So I played I can go through Yakuza 0. Okay. Played about 7 hours of it. Lost Judgment, which I know isn't Yakuza, but it's in like the world, I'm pretty sure.
I haven't played those ones.
Played about like 7 to 9 hours of it. Like a Dragon, played about maybe 10 hours of it. The new one, Infinite Wealth, played about probably 10 to 12 hours of it. And again, like clockwork, something else comes out and I'm like, we'll see if I get back to it. I just never get back to it, which I think is more of a sign of I like it, I don't love it. Yeah. Right? I think if I loved Yakuza, I would stick out like through the rest of those games. I think there's something that is cool about it that works for me, which is I like how the world looks. I like the action of it. I like the energy of the world. But yeah, there is something there that I think for me hasn't been enough to like pull me through a 40-hour experience. I don't know if that 40 hours is accurate, but like
I played Infinite Wealth for about 50 hours, and that's still me doing side stuff.
Yeah.
But that's about right.
I've played enough Yakuza. It's funny how like if I add up all the times, I probably have played 40 hours of Yakuza.
Yeah.
But I do.
That's one game.
Yeah, exactly. I am interested in the show though, right? Like looking at this, seeing that trailer, even though I was expecting something a bit more, I guess, goofy, because I associate goofy with Like a Dragon and Yakuza and stuff. I do think maybe for a starting point, I can see how you would start off dramatic and maybe work the goofy in there as you go through multiple seasons. Like, how would you want it to be done?
That's the interesting thing, right? Because I feel like the general consensus is those out of context Twitter videos that you see of just like, somebody, it's like the most insane moments from the Yakuza franchise. People are like, that's kind of what the franchise is. Not really, right? I mean, like if you've played the first 7 to 10 hours of most of them, and most of them start off very, very serious, right? Especially Yakuza 0 and Kiwami 1 and 2, like very serious. Hey, we're doing the story, and it is a crime drama. It is a drama of someone murdered somebody, and then now someone has to take the fall. And oh my gosh, like I've lost 20 years of my life. Like it's a very serious story. And then inevitably you go to the open world, and there's a naked dude running around, and you're like, oh shit, now I got to figure this out.
You got to catch all the bad guys like Pokemon.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it gets crazy. Of course, the franchise has gotten crazier, especially when you get into like the Like a Dragon side of it. I mean, so fucking weird. Whatever.
Yeah.
The ones with
starring Ichiban.
Yes, exactly. And starring Ichiban. It starts getting a little more goofier because he starts having like the multiple realities when he goes into fights and everyone changes and everything. But the original games are pretty grounded until the open world stuff. So I hope in this series, I forget how long this is. I remember they're breaking it up into 2 parts, I believe. But if they have enough episodes, I would love at least maybe halfway through, we do get like a side plot of something a little bit crazier.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't need
That'd be
anything.
fun to
I don't
do,
need
like-
anything crazy, but like I just want like, hey, there's a goofy character and we kind of follow them, and maybe they're a kind of sidekick situation for a a little bit.
Yeah,
Like that's all
I do
want.
love the idea of like a side quest episode.
Yeah.
right? You get halfway through the season, and it is. All right, Kiryu goes to the arcade.
Yeah.
and it was like, he's just having
Or he
fun.
takes somebody on a date or whatever, and then that's how
Yeah.
we deal with all this stuff. I think there's a lot of room for that, and there's a lot of room to just be serious with it. And the story of Yakuza is incredible because it is so melodramatic and insane, and it goes to heights that's the thing that pushes me through, where there are the moments where I'm like, oh, fuck, the combat is just me pressing square the entire time, and it is kind of annoying. But then there's inevitably a twist, and I'm like, fuck, that is like WWE, like,
Yeah.
you know, we're just going full melodramatic insanity. I need to see where this goes. And there is enough to grab people, and I talk about like the wider audience. There is enough here to grab not only the gamers of the world, but the parents, the people that don't even play video games, that are just interested in random Japanese drama. And there's enough here. It doesn't need to have like the silliness.
Crime
attached to
drama,
it.
I think, is way like on the way more approachable, accessible side of television, right? Like I feel like if you're adapting a game to a TV series or a movie, Like a Dragon is so primed for it,
Yeah.
you know, because it is. I can explain it to any of my family members and go, oh yeah, it's a crime drama in Japan, and they're like, oh cool, yeah, like
So easy.
It's an easy sell, and then as long as they treat the characters right, and as long as they, I think treat the show in a way that's authentic to the games, I think you can make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost similar to Fallout, where maybe not similar to Fallout, but I guess if I look at Fallout as an example of a show that I think, even though it's taking so much from the video games, I think still works for somebody, even if you've not seen the video game, because it is just wacky and interesting and engaging in a way. Yakuza, I think, has the benefit of, oh yeah, you don't have to worry about like not understanding a mechanic or not understanding like a weird side story or whatever. It is the story of Kiryu, right? It's the story of when you get there, Ichiban, and it is straightforward, right? And so I'm looking forward to this. I hope it's a hit. How far do you want to see them take this? Like, how do you want to see it get to? We're introducing Ichiban, like we're catching up with Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Is that something that you think is years and years and years away, or do you think they can get there quickly?
They shouldn't get there quickly. They should take their time with that. It's interesting because like, I love the story of Yakuza 0 so much because it is so stupid. It's such a dumb story, like, and it is so fan servicey because it is the origin story of not only Kiryu but also Majima. So it just gets so weird, and it's like, okay, well, this is actually it's like telling the origin story of the Joker. It's like we don't need it, but it's fun that you did it. I would like them to do that. I don't think it necessarily needs to be a season or anything like that. That could be like flashbacks or whatever throughout seasons, but yeah, I think they take their time with Ichiban because I think Ichiban should be its own show, right? It should have a different title. It should be like, hey, we're going a completely different direction. Of course, the same actor that plays Kiryu and Majima and everyone comes back, but it should be like a spin-off series almost. But I hope
That'd be
they
a
take
smart way to do
I
it.
really hope they take their time and they get there. And they have so much stories for Kiryu. Like, I mean, you have fucking so many games, so much for him to
When
do.
do we get the zombies? You ever see
forgot about
the
that.
zombie Yakuza game?
Yeah,
when
yeah.
do we get? Oh, Ishin was another one that I tried out.
I mean, I could see that too. I could see that as another spin-off thing if they wanted to, right? Like if they could, there's so many directions for this franchise to go. I think that would get confusing because it's not the same characters. It's like the archetypes of each of the characters, but they have a lot there. I'm hopeful for this. I'm also still skeptical, right? I need to see I was gonna say gameplay. I need to see like the fight scenes. I need to see the dialogue. I need to see a clip of the show. That is gonna sell me for this. I need to see a clip, and I'm like, okay, I feel good about this. But this is cool. It's a cool vibe.
Story number 2. Astro Bot is getting a limited edition controller. This is from Nicholas Doucette at the PlayStation blog. It's a pleasure to be back here to make another Astro Bot related reveal. If you've been following Astro News as of late, then you know the team Asobi have been hard at work on a brand new game coming out on September 6th. The game features over 50 planets, new power-ups, lots of enemies, secrets, and PlayStation-infused characters to collect. And it also features a DualSense wireless controller turned into a living character and helping Astro on his mission. Today, it is an immense pleasure to announce that you will be able to charge into Astro's new supersized adventure along with the cool new DualSense wireless controller, Astro Bot Limited Edition. The controller's design features Astro's signature blue accents on the handles and buttons, carved in sci-fi lines, as well as the trademark playful pair of eyes on the touchpad. It is a true work of art, and we could not be happier with the end result at Team Asobi. Starting Friday, August 9th at 7 a.m. Pacific time in the US, players will be able to pre-order the DualSense wireless controller Astro Bot Limited Edition through direct.playstation.com, as well as from select retailers. Pre-orders will also be available through select retailers in other global markets on the same day. The DualSense wireless controller Astro Bot Limited Edition will be available in limited quantities for $79.99 and will launch on September 6th, day and date, with the launch of Astro Bot.
Does Tim Geddes hate this controller?
There's no way he could hate this controller.
Here's the
There's no
he
way.
needs to answer for his crimes against Astrobot. Honestly, like, you can't look at this controller based off of a very cute character and be like, yeah, this controller sucks. You know?
Yeah, we need to get the answer by the end of the show. But I love this controller. I'm very excited for it. Will I buy it? No. But will I love looking at it? Sure. Oh shit, we're calling him.
I love that I'm calling him, even though he's in the office.
He's right here.
Tim, how's it going? You're live on KFGD. How's it going? Tim, are you there? Can you hear me? Oh, God, he's not speaking back. He's coming in. Welcome to the stage, Tim Geddes.
What's up, everybody? My phone connected to my AirPods and then disconnected and connected to other AirPods, so it's a whole problem out here. But I'm here. What's up?
We were talking about the new Astrobot DualSense. And, of course, we know you as somebody who is not the biggest fan of Astrobot's design.
I am a hater. It is true.
Astrobot's visual design. How do you feel about the visual design of the new controller?
Love it. They nailed it. This is exactly what it needed to be. Like, are you kidding me? Come on. This looks like a good controller for what they're going for. I don't love the blue on the sides, but I understand it's necessary if they're going to go all out. I would have preferred just all white on the sides, because I do love the color blue on the face buttons and the D-pad. Little eyes there, pretty cool too. But overall, I think they nailed it with this controller.
Hell yeah.
And it's because it's based off of a really cute character design, Tim.
No, it's because it's based off a system with good colors that they got going on, you know? But the design, they can figure it out. Because the curves on the DualSense are hot.
Oh,
the curves on that little boy,
I had faith in Tim. I was like, even though Tim doesn't like Astro's design, I for sure was like, you're gonna like the controller.
Yeah.
It looks a fantastic looking controller, and I agree. I do like the blue though, like the blue on the side. I think it gives a bit of difference. I feel like without the blue, it might look too much like a traditional DualSense. But yeah, no, I'm digging it too.
I don't want black.
Ooh, black would have been actually black would have been nice.
No,
but you got the black in
do
the
you
eyes.
think the sides are shiny? They look like they're shiny.
Yeah.
Like they're reflective. I like that.
But it looks like it'll feel like the Ultros controller that we have.
No, they're not gonna do that. Because the Ultras controller is just smooth throughout, and so you lose the grip on the backside.
Smooth SpongeBob. Remember not smooth SpongeBob, round SpongeBob.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Remember round SpongeBob?
It's like when he lost his edge.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think they're gonna make that mistake. I think it'll feel like an actual controller.
No, I like the sci-fi lines.
The sci-fi lines.
That's what they called it. They like has a little. They have the little like details on there where if you look at the bottom of the controller.
Never really thought about Astrobot as being sci-fi, but I guess it is.
Yeah, science fiction.
I'm glad they did it. We had this conversation when we were talking about Concord last week and the Concord controller that they announced. The Concord controller looks hot.
Yes.
And we had the thing where they were like, "Oh, this is Smooth Yoda." I don't like Smooth Yoda.
What I was thinking about.
If they didn't make an Astrobot controller, they would have been fucking up.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did this.
Do you think they're gonna have a console?
An Astrobot console? No.
Really?
No. I think you save a console for this
Spider-Man?
For Spider-Man. Well, I was gonna say this
First party.
not to make this sound like I'm hating on Astrobot or anything, because I'm looking forward to Astrobot.
Yeah.
I love that this game is coming out. I think PlayStation, looking at their IP, they're not looking at Astrobot as like we got to make a console.
Yeah, no,
for this, the way that Spider-Man
I
is.
agree with you. That was mostly a joke. I think that they can make a console for the next one if this is a hit. Like they're like, hey, no, this is for you. But I like that they're doing.
I almost think you look at it as with a sales threshold of, if your game can sell above 10 million, we'll make a console for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which what I'm saying is that everybody needs to buy Astro Bot.
You got to do it. Do you think
Buy
they,
Astro
do you think they have a little Astro Bot inside the controller that you shake and you hear him screaming?
Well, I was gonna ask Roger, what does a screaming Astro Bot sound like? Barrett nailed it. There you go.
Thank you.
Killed it.
There we go. But yeah, I love that they're doing this. I'm trying to think of what the other upcoming PlayStation games are. I guess after Astro Bot would be just Death Stranding 2 announced.
That's definitely getting a console.
You think Death Stranding 2 is gonna get a console? I think for sure it's getting a controller.
Kojima will try.
I'm on the edge.
Kojima will try to make a console.
Yeah.
He has one designed. He sends it to them. He's like, "We're gonna start production, right?" And
somebody said Lego Horizon. Lego Horizon. I wonder if that even gets a controller.
They're gonna do I can see them doing a promotional one where it's like a PlayStation controller and Lego. You know what I mean? Like doing one of those things. But it's like I don't know if they actually get a.
The first one got a PS4 Pro.
Oh shit!
Oh, I take it back. Yeah, no, I think that actually bodes well for a PS5 console for Death Stranding.
That's so cool. The translucent PS4 controller. That's sick.
The piss controller.
Yeah,
is
like
what
the
we call
BB.
it.
Like the BB box. I never played this game.
I did not like that controller. I know you haven't played this game based on the GAMESCAST you did a few weeks ago. Oh, I want a game with the stories in the background.
yeah, you know, I just kind of want weird people. You know what I mean?
Roger,
what's up?
We're gonna move on to story number 3 and talk a little bit about Starfield. But before we do, I want to tell you about Patreon.com/kindafunny and YouTube.com/kindafunnygames, where you can go and get the show ad free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades that are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers an unrivaled product that's just as good as any expensive pair that we've worn. Y'all know I've been outside a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's been a great experience wearing my Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Exclusively for y'all, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. You can head to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. This episode is brought to you by Hims. Guys, sometimes intimate moments happen spontaneously, and we always want to be ready so we can perform in the bedroom. Hims has treatments that can help you stay hard and last longer, giving you that boost of confidence so you can be ready whenever the mood strikes. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing access to affordable sexual health treatments, all from the comfort of your couch. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments, such as chewable hard mints, proven treatments like Viagra or Cialis, or their generics for up to 95% cheaper. No insurance is needed. Pay one low price for your treatments, online visits, ongoing shipments, and provider messaging. And the process is simple and 100% online, so no uncomfortable in-person visits necessary. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/kindafunny. That's HIMS.com/kindafunny for your personalized ED treatment options. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions, details, and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Good news! A new run of my children's book, Portillo the Wiener Dog Thinks He's a Manatee, is available for pre-order right now! Head over to kindafunny.com/store to snag one before the end of the week. And while you're there, pick up a few items from our Portillo merch line, including shirts, crew necks, and hats. Already got them? Grab them for your favorite best friend. Christmas is only 5 months away!
And we're back. Remember, you can write in with super chats to get your questions and comments read on the show. We have a few in. I'm going to read one now and save the other for the super chat section.
I like that.
Because this one is relevant to the conversations we were having earlier. Brando writes in and says, so excited for the Yakuza TV series. 8 is still my game of the year, and I think it's a must play for anyone who likes JRPGs and great turn-based combat.
Absolutely. I am a turn-based combat hater, and I love that combat. I love it so much. I replayed a little bit of it this weekend. Man, what a great game. Try it out if you are remotely interested.
I was about to recommend Persona if you like that combat, but then I remembered that you have tried Persona.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And it just doesn't work for you.
No, it does not work for
me. Which blows
me.
my mind.
Well, because it's more...
The Yakuza games keep getting closer and closer to Persona.
Also, the Yakuza games have like more of a real-time combat edge to it, right? So you're
Sure,
moving
yeah.
around the people. I love being able to get close to somebody and cheese it, and then like use my abilities, right? Like the fact that I'm just kind of standing there. I just didn't grow up with turn-based games, so like it breaks my brain playing those
What if
games.
here's what we need to do, because I think that's a good point that you didn't grow up with turn-based games. What we have to do is start from the beginning.
Oh no.
Go all the way back.
Final Fantasy 1?
We got to start you off. We got to start you off with baby's first JRPG, which is
Yeah.
Pokemon. We got to have you play.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And then we get you Final Fantasy 1, I guess.
Oh, we go backward.
no, I guess we're going. Yeah, we're going way back.
Yeah.
we go all the way back.
We just got to build up and then get you on the. We got to get you on the PS1 JRPGs.
What was that
then.
What was that Ubisoft game where they made an indie game, quote unquote, but it had
The
turn-based elements?
Brave,
It was like
no, not Brave. I know what you're talking about. Child of Light.
yes, that I like that system.
So you like when Americans do it?
Yes.
It's fucked up of you.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
that game was American. It might be French.
Same difference. I played a little bit of Arceus, and I enjoyed that. But
What?
Arceus? Pokemon?
oh yes, yeah.
And I hit a wall. I hit a wall with that too, because I was like, this is the same. This is the same
Yeah.
thing. We're just hitting the same thing.
I mean that game's also three frame rate per second. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Arceus was fine. Sun and Moon, right? Sun and Moon. What was the other one?
No. Scarlet and Violet was the one that was rough.
Arceus was fine.
I didn't like how Arceus looked.
Nah.
That was one it's messed up because I feel like if I went back and played Arceus, I actually probably would like it based on how much I liked Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
But that was another one. Came out at the wrong time. Sifu came out weeks later.
Sifu's
I got
so
obsessed with Sifu.
Sifu's so good.
Someone in the chat, I missed it. Roger, you actually might really like Nino Kuni.
Oh, that's great. I played Nino Kuni 2 a little bit, and I enjoyed it, but I might try Nino Kuni 1. That's good. I think it's on Game Pass as well. That's good.
Both are very good.
Let's move on to story number 3. Starborn could be Bethesda's second Starfield expansion. This is Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. Starborn could be the second expansion for Bethesda's Starfield, after the company was discovered to have trademarked the name this month. As spotted first by Twitter user TimYor222, Bethesda registered the name with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office this month for use on video game software. Shattered Space, Starfield's first big story expansion DLC, will be released later this year. In terms of scope, game director Todd Howard has likened Shattered Space to Fallout 4's Far Harbor expansion. Recently, Howard has said he hopes to release Starfield story expansions on an annual basis.
Forever.
No,
we added that part. But what if?
What if it just kept
Starfield
going?
2 comes out? He's like, Starfield
we're
1
in
expansion.
2035. People are like, we're not playing this anymore, dude. You don't have to keep making these.
Greg
like,
Miller's so excited.
Yeah, he's like Shattered Space 16 is coming
Oh,
out now.
shit.
Does this do anything for you at all?
No,
I don't
not
mean
at
you
all.
are like the Starfield hater squad.
Yes. I didn't go back to it. I fell off super hard after the first few hours. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff interests me of like, I'm in the mood for like a Fallout-like situation. So sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, Starfield does exist. But no, none of this excites me. I don't know what would excite me. Maybe it's Series. If they figure out 60 FPS on Series S, maybe I would be interested. But it's
Because you have a Series S.
Yeah, I have a Series S only, which I love my Series S. But
Yeah. I'm with you as far as like, I don't know what could excite me, but also that's the thing where I'm at the point where I'm like, listen, the Greg Millers of the world, there are plenty of people that love Starfield,
That's
right?
nice, yeah.
Like, this is going to be for them, and I am excited to see how they go about it. I'm excited to see if Shattered Space hits for Greg and hits for that audience.
Oh, yeah,
and
that
then,
hasn't come out yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
you're
come
right.
out. That's
Fuck.
coming out this fall.
Yeah.
And then with Todd Howard saying yearly is what he wants it. I imagine the Starborn expansion is going to be next year. One of the most exciting things for me was Starfield. I guess I don't want to get into spoilers, so I'm going to stay away from spoilers.
Yeah.
But the stuff they do with the Starborn in the game, I think is interesting.
Oh.
Hearing Greg talk about his stories with starting New Game Plus and seeing where that takes his story and stuff. That I'm like, that stuff sounds cool. I tried to dive a little bit into it, and I was just like, I'm not invested enough to like really explore the New Game Plus stuff. But a whole expansion titled Starborn, that feels like it has the potential to open that up and maybe explore that in even deeper and more interesting ways. And I think that could be exciting.
Yeah, I totally forgot that's what that was. I thought this was a connection to Dragonborn, and we're like Skyrim. You know what I mean? And it's
I mean, Bethesda loves putting Borns in their game.
in the next game, Jason Bourne. You hear this?
I mean, the Fallout, I heard they're adding Ghoulborn.
what?
Ghoulborn.
Who's that?
Because they have ghouls.
Oh,
So you're Roger Ketchup, all right?
I
know it's
didn't
Monday.
hear go. I thought you said Go Born. I was like, who the fuck's Go Born?
They're combining the Hitman Go.
And then I
games
thought you
with the
said
Fallout
Goldberg
stuff.
for a second. I was like, I don't know what's
They're
happening.
adding Goldberg to Fallout, the wrestler. Let's fucking go.
He spears everybody. It's great.
Let's move on to story number 4. Plaion is to publish Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is James Batchelor.
Plaion?
Fuck. Plaion is publishing Marvel. God, I hate it so much.
It's just it sounds like it's spelled, bless.
Plaion is publishing Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is James Batchelor at gamesindustry.biz. Skydance Games is partnered with Plaion to publish Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra when it debuts next year. The game was unveiled earlier this year during GDC and features both Captain America and Black Panther in a World War II setting. It is being developed by Skydance New Media, the studio led by Naughty Dog alum and Uncharted creative director Amy Hennig, as well as her fellow co-president Julian Beek. While the specific devices have yet to be confirmed, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is due to launch sometime in 2025. Skydance has previously published its own titles under the Skydance Interactive label, with past releases including VR outing The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Upcoming VR action game Skydance's Behemoth is also set to be published internally. Plaion is owned by Embracer Group, although it'll become part of the company tentatively named Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends when the group splits into 3 separate public entities.
Wait, so is this Middle-earth or and Friends, do you think?
Oh, this would be and Friends, right? Because they're publishing the Marvel thing.
Well, maybe, multiverse, bless. You never know.
Whoa.
You never know.
They get the fucking Black Panther shows up and he's like, what's this ring? What do I do with this ring? Puts it on, all of a sudden, Lord of the Ring, things happen.
Whoa! Tell me anything about them.
I've not seen those movies.
Oh shit!
He like runs into a little goblin fella. He's like, oh, I'm Gollum.
Oh
Yeah. And then like there's a whole nemesis system thing that happens. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know anything about Lord
I
of the
want you to
Rings.
keep going. I want you to tell me more about Lord of the Rings.
Black Panther, he kills Gollum on sight because he's
Whoa.
like, I don't know who this guy is. Then Gollum comes from the grave and he's like, I remember you and I'm stronger now because that's how this game system works.
That is kind of more. That is true.
That's
That is
everything
true.
I know about Lord of
Yeah.
the Rings.
That's you're right on actually.
Are
You're
there
right on.
dragons? There aren't dragons in Lord
Yeah,
of the
there are.
No, wait, really?
Yeah. It's a big deal in The Hobbit.
Really?
Yeah, there's a big dragon.
Yeah, very big
Benedict
deal.
Cumberbatch.
Should have put those in the trailers. Benedict Cumberbatch is in those movies.
He's a big dragon.
What about, I thought it was Watson from Sherlock.
Yes, he's also in it.
They got Sherlock and Watson in
yeah,
those movies?
Yeah. Or the guy from Black Panther
Uh-huh.
and Doctor
Oh,
Strange.
yeah, you're right.
See?
He is in Black.
You know what I mean?
Whoa.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Multiverse,
Come
we
on,
had it
bring it
happen.
all back.
We made it happen. Haluk Mendez, head of Marvel Games, said, quote, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is an exquisite and bold take on some of our most
Why are you
beloved...
laughing? Why are you laughing?
I just don't
Look
hear
at
the word
that.
exquisite as
Look at
often.
that. He was a dragon.
No way.
He was a dragon.
This is him doing his mocap.
Why'd they have him lay on the floor?
Andy Serkis ruined a whole generation.
Hold on. Why is he laying on the floor? He didn't have to do that, though, right? They're just mocapping his face.
Man, I feel so bad for Benedict. He was like, man, this is going to be my Andy Serkis moment. I'm going to make a whole Gollum out of this. They're going to be spin-offs. They're going to make a game out of this. No one talks about this. We just have this
Nobody
video.
talks about The Hobbit?
We don't talk about him as the dragon.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a
Or
dragon.
the fact that they split The Hobbit into 3 movies. We don't talk about that.
There's no way he had to be on all fours for this.
Nah, he didn't have to do that.
No, he was just that committed.
Oh,
for
shit.
him. Oh, shit. There's no way. No role requires all of this. They're just mocapping your. Nobody told him they're just mocapping his
I mean,
face.
he's got the white balls on the rest of his body, man. They're mocapping. the
Yeah,
rest of
but
his
you can
body.
mocap a dragon without mocapping a human. I mean, you can animate a dragon without mocapping a human, though. But good for him. Like, this is him going for the Oscar. I can see what's going on here.
This is what he does for Doctor Strange as well, to cut around it.
They're like, you don't have to do this, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a human being.
I thought they canceled Sherlock as well. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, Lord. The world-class development talent of Skydance Games and global publishing capabilities of Plaion are an excellent team-up to ensure we deliver on the massive promise this game has. We're excited to collaborate and bring Marvel 1943 to players around the world, end quote. In addition to Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, Hennig's team at Skydance New Media is also working on a title set in the Star Wars universe.
Well, I didn't know about that part. When was this announced?
I think a while ago. I think it was like one of those like press release type things
Yeah.
where
And we're like, oh.
it happened and we're like, all right, cool, moving on.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, this is such a weird game because, like, not that I don't think it's a real game. I know it's a real game and I know it's actually coming out, but it's just so, like, Order 1886 coded that, like, I almost feel like it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Because it just looks so good.
Yeah.
And then they show some gameplay, quote unquote, but I'm like, I don't believe that's gameplay. Yeah, I don't know. But
I don't even know if they've shown. Have they shown gameplay?
well, they show things that look sort of like they might be played. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that
something
might
like
be.
that.
You know what I
I
mean?
get-
Like
yeah.
he's moving around. I'm like, I guess that's gameplay. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be a good story. I'm so interested to see how this game actually plays and what that actually feels like.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I will say this cutscene still gets me so hyped.
It is. It's
the
awesome.
one where I forget, is it T'Challa or T'Chaka?
Yeah.
It was one where Black Panther approaches Captain America, where he's like, you know, I forget what he says. That shield does not belong to you, or whatever he
Yeah,
says, right?
it's
Like
sick.
it's so good. And when you see the facial capture, the facial capture looks better than anything I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
Right? It looks fantastic.
And the fact that they covered it up and they're like, we can just turn it off and on. We don't care. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so cool. It's such a flex. Embracer being part of this, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, that's
really
not
interesting.
exciting.
I mean, T'Chaka is what JG in chat is saying, and Langley
call.
is saying it's T'Challa's grandfather. So yeah, T'Chaka. I think it's interesting. I wonder if this is just one of those ones where Skydance is like, hey, we're looking forward to this being a AAA game on a global scale that we want to sell a lot of copies. We don't have the publishing capabilities on our own. We might have that for our VR stuff or the smaller games, but we want this to be one of the biggest games of the year. We have to look to somebody else to publish it for us, and Plaion just happened to be the ones that they're able to strike a deal with.
Yeah.
I agree that it's like a weird we don't like Embracer, we don't like Plaion, but them just publishing doesn't give me fear.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like they're going to have influence on how the game actually turns out. And so I think it's just one of those weird business things where I'm sure behind the scenes they have their reasons. Maybe they just couldn't find another third-party publisher, right?
And when you
'Cause
think
you
about
don't see those deals as often.
Exactly, and you're so right. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh yeah, like a Ubisoft's not going to publish
like
someone else's game, right? The
Ubisoft or,
EA is not going to do that, right?
In Activision, also how much money are people asking for?
Exactly.
Like, do you look at Plaion and go, hey, you can publish a Captain America Black Panther game, then like we can pay you less than we'll pay an EA
Also,
to do
most
it,
of these companies are working on their own Marvel games.
That is also true.
So,
yeah.
like, I don't think that they would actually publish it. So, Plaion being like not the young or company, but like they're scrappy. They're like, hey, we're trying to make these deals. We're trying to acquire all these people.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta
it makes
do what
sense
you gotta
that they're
do
there.
to
Yeah.
get your game published
That
and
makes
get your
sense.
game out there.
That makes sense. So, I'm looking forward to it. Do we have a date on that?
Just 2025.
Oh, okay.
Which is really cool.
Yeah,
2025 set to be maybe one of the biggest games in their biggest years in video games.
Yeah, I hope it's good.
Story number 5. I'm going to preface this with this story contains spoilers for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, I'll also say you don't need to care about spoilers for Suicide Squad.
And also,
Kill the
this
Justice
spoiler
League.
is maybe in the title of the game. You know what
It's
I mean?
like one of those ones where it's a new story.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you should get bent out of shape about Suicide Squad. But if you want to, hey, skip forward, mute for 5 minutes. We're going to talk about a potential spoiler for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. You've been warned.
I will raise my hand once the story is done.
Yes. Roger will raise
I'll
his
raise
hand.
my hand. I'll raise both hands.
He's going to raise both hands. All right. Can I count down? 5, 4, 3, 2. Story number 5, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is now resurrecting the Justice League. This is Paul Tassi at Forbes. It always makes me a little sad when a live game clearly has a story mapped out, but just cannot see it through due to poor performance. I'm bummed we never got to see Marvel's Avengers Kree Invasion with Captain Marvel and She-Hulk added. And now, well, a longer-term picture of what Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was supposed to be is coming together, starting with the launch of Season 2 here. A big pushback to the concept of the game in the first place was that the Suicide Squad was ... killing the Justice League. Brainiac corrupted versions of iconic heroes which needed to die, including, unfortunately, Arkham Trilogy Batman, who was executed by Harley Quinn. Enter the plot twist. Spoilers follow. As of the end of Season 2's first part here, our latest Brainiac kill reveals that, in fact, the Flash is alive. The real Flash. It appears we did not fight and have not killed the original Justice League, but in fact, clones of the Justice League with the real versions held in captivity. So yes, the previous rumors are confirmed. The live portion of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is now about ... saving the Justice League. The timeline of this remains to be seen. There are 3 other cloned / mirrored heroes that should be in there: Green Lantern, Superman, and Batman. But if we killed the clones, the one Justice League member that did appear to actually die was Wonder Woman, the non-corrupted version killed by clone Superman. So that's not great. This also opens a curious door. If Batman returns, and if the story was already recorded ahead of time, we may get more voice work from the departed Kevin Conroy, and in non-evil form, free from Brainiac's clutches. Conroy's final work was supposed in the most recent animated Justice League movie, but I do wonder if we may hear more from him in the Suicide Squad live content.
First things first, shout out to Paul Tassi. Just some of the funniest writing that I've ever...
Paul Tassi writes in his voice.
Oh, I love it so much. It's great. Man, how fucking disappointing. Like, either kill them or you don't kill them. And then now we're doing the thing where now they're dead and now they're coming back just to appease fans. I don't know if this was always the plan or if this has been planned.
I gotta assume it was always the plan.
Yeah.
It's just a bad plan.
It's a bad
It wasn't a
plan.
good plan. When I was talking shit about it over the weekend, a lot of people were like, well, it's kind of like any comic book thing. And, this has probably been the plan for the longest time. It's like, it doesn't make it good.
No.
What are we doing?
Especially when the whole game is called Kill the Justice League. And like that
Lean
was
into it, man.
this was the worst theory that I remember hearing before this game launched, where it's like, oh no, they're clones. And I'm like, that sucks. Like that's the whole, like that's the antithesis of what this should be. It should be when we're actually killing these people. And
I mean, it does mean new Arkham. You can bring him back. We can bring back the Batman. We all know.
I don't.
We can bring. He's not dead.
we gotta reboot it. We can't ever
at this
do
point,
this.
I don't want a new Arkham game,
Yeah, me
especially
too.
with Conroy gone. Like Conroy is that Batman. Like I don't think that could be done a service. If we were to get another Arkham game, it needed to happen 5 years ago.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I could also see a universe. I mean, we're doing Arkham Shadows, right? Like
Yeah,
that is the
the
VR
VR
game
game.
that has Roger Craig Smith, and I think Roger Craig Smith does a great job. The Roger connection right there as well.
Roger,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I do think that this, like the Arkham franchise, is almost tainted at this point. Like it's like this weird thing. It's like we just need to pull back and just do the reboot the way that they kind of already have been. They talked about before Arkham Knight. After Arkham Knight came out, and there was like those rumors of like WB potentially doing something, and maybe there's going to be like a far future thing. We just need to fully reboot.
Why don't
it.
we do more Batman Beyond?
I agree.
Like, where's the Batman Beyond content?
Yeah.
Like, it was such a cool cartoon when I was a kid. I'm sure there's comics and also for the comic readers, right? I know it from the cartoons. But like Batman Beyond video game, Batman Beyond movie. Like, why hasn't this been done?
WB execs are like allergic to Batman Beyond as a concept, because wasn't there like a rumor that like a Batman Beyond animated movie was pitched to them in the style of Spider-Verse, and they were just like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
that sounds like a moneymaker, dude.
That
Yeah.
sounds fucking crazy. And like a Batman Beyond game, something people have been asking for since I don't know, like I think there's a GameCube game or some shit. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, I the Batman Beyond connection's so weird to me because it's like I wonder if it's just because it is a younger audience that is like not untested, but like they see it and like, oh, it was the cartoon thing that people liked, but it's not really the thing that people love. People love just Batman, right? Like
Yeah.
I think they see it as like an offshoot, and they're like, oh, that was like success, but it just so happened.
But
to
it's
be
like a
success.
weird, like, even if it is we view that as a of the time thing. We don't know if
Yeah.
people still fuck with Batman Beyond. I think even just the concept of, one, it's still Batman, but then also Bruce Wayne is in it as a mentor. Like, even, like, just conceptually, that alone is fucking sick.
Yeah.
That alone, I feel like, is such a banger idea, and they have the resources to make it
Yes.
happen. Even in The Flash, right? There's
Yeah.
been there was a hint of, like, I guess spoilers for The Flash if you care, but a hint of Bruce Wayne, like an older Bruce Wayne,
yeah,
right? Like,
Michael Keaton.
that is so exciting.
Yeah, and there's so many old Batmans. There's so many
old
like,
so many people you can bring back.
we're at the point now where it's like, okay, for a while it was like, okay, let's bring back Michael Keaton, let's bring back this. I think now we're at the point now it's like, oh, just put George Clooney. he's the old Batman. Fuck it, who cares? Like, whatever. There's so many old Batman at this point. We can do it. We can do it for anybody. Fucking who cares? Christian Bale. Fucking put him as old
I was
Batman.
waiting for you to say
Let's
Christian
do it.
Bale.
I'm serious. Like, we can do anybody, and then just put a fucking
Could you
cool ass
imagine?
up and coming
The
actor.
Dark Knight Rises ends with that setup.
Yeah,
You know?
there's so. JGL is Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, an older.
My other secret name is Terry McGinnis, by the way. I'm Robin Terry McGinnis, everybody.
How old is JGL now?
He should be.
He might be the older Batman. He might play.
Yeah.
There's no way Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Hold on.
We got to bring it back. I think Batman Beyond is. They just need to test the waters.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is 43 years old.
He's fine.
He cannot play Beyond. But there's ideas here. Take them.
Take them. Batman Beyond, everybody. Just make an animated show, test the waters, and then jump off of that. I can't believe there has not been like an animated movie. You know how many fucking garbage DC animated movies we've made, and we have not done. You know what? Let's just do a Batman
just try
Beyond. one.
Batman
None
Beyond
of them
again.
have been nearly as good as The Return of Joker, the Batman Beyond movie. Oh,
Yes, that was really good.
Oh, haunting.
That was really good.
So good.
We made a billion DC CW shows. They don't
don't got the money for
didn't
that
even
one.
touch
Imagine that.
Batman Beyond. But does that even cost money?
Yeah, you got to make it like the futuristic city, and he's flying around and stuff.
Yeah, it's all like cyberpunky and shit, bless.
Listen, that doesn't stop them from trying. I don't know if you saw the latest seasons of Flash.
Dude,
they will push those special effects if they need to.
Talking about Comic-Con, I saw a trailer for the last season of Superman and Lois, and I was like, they're trying something. It is better than all the Flash. Like, it looks better, but it's like, oof, still not great.
I
Still
did
not
see
great.
one scene. It was a while ago, so I'm gonna butcher it. But there was like a scene in Superman and Lois where Clark walks into like a diner, and like there was a guy in there. I think it was being like abusive or whatever. It was like some weird dynamic, but like the way in which he approached the dude and like shut that dude down, I was like, I gotta watch this.
It's
thing,
good.
Man.
That's some
They're
good
making
moments.
Clark seem real cool.
Yeah, they play Recore in it.
No way.
Yeah, the kids play Recore in it.
That must be one of those ones where they thought it was a fake video game. They're like, oh, we did a fake video game.
No one's gonna care about the rights of
Yeah,
this one.
they were like on YouTube and they saw Recore and they're like, oh yeah, this ain't a real thing. Just copy and paste
Yeah.
the gameplay on here. Good for them. Story number 6. This is sad news. The Dark Pictures Anthology actor Tony Pankhurst has passed away. This is Taylor Lyles at IGN. Tony Pankhurst, the UK actor, excuse me, who became a recognizable face in Supermassive's horror series, The Dark Pictures Anthology, has passed away aged 67. Supermassive's Twitter account revealed that Pankhurst had passed away. In a tribute page published by his family, spotted by GameSpot, it was revealed that he had passed away on May 9th, with Supermassive Games learning of the news today and providing a recent donation to the family. As the tribute page reveals, any donations would be provided to Hospice in the World, as the organization provided such love and support to Pankhurst in his final weeks. Quote, "We're all saddened to hear of Tony's passing. He was the face of the Curator, and we loved working with him," Supermassive said. It's a very sad one.
Yeah.
Of course, if you played the Dark Pictures Anthology, the best part of that game is when the Curator comes out and sets the tone in
Yeah.
between chapters,
Incredible.
right? Like it was always he would always walk out to the music playing. It would always be the thing of it'd be me and the person I'm playing with online, right? Here we fucking go.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Bringing it all together.
He's
yeah.
back. He's bringing it all together, and that was like such, I think, a cool concept to connect them all. So yeah, this is a very sad news to read about this morning. Of course, all the love to his family,
Absolutely.
all the love to the people that surrounded him, his friends, and all that. And yeah, rest in peace, rest in power.
Rest in power.
Roger, we just talked about a lot of big news today.
Yes, we did.
But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I needed to know about, where would I go?
You go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items we need to know about. Put my hands up just because I forgot I didn't put my hands up earlier. So then that person probably was.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, good
so
point.
there's one person.
They missed the.
And then also you were reading that story, and I was like, I should put my hands up. I was like, no, I shouldn't.
I saw you put your hands up. Like the camera was cut
It
to
was
me.
not on me. It was
So the audience didn't see, but I did see you put your hands up like this
I was like, shit,
mid-story, and I'm like, why? Is that a thing people do when people pass away? They put their hands up? What are you doing, Roger?
It wasn't on me, though. It wasn't on me. It was on proof.
Jesus. Story number 7, we got Wii news for you. Michael Kripe at IGN says Mortal Kombat 1 is keeping its bloody waterfall of post-launch DLC going with a list of new crossover fighters that include Ghostface from Scream, Robert Patrick's T-1000, and Conan the Barbarian. A lineup of 6 new fighters was revealed by developer NetherRealm during San Diego Comic-Con today, or during the weekend, I should say. Alongside gameplay, we have first look images of each DLC character joining the Mortal Kombat 1 roster. The DLC titled Chaos Reigns includes the 3 aforementioned movie representatives, as well as Noob Saibot, Sector, and Cyrax. It launches digitally September 24th on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC.
Noob Saibot?
Noob Saibot. You know Noob Saibot.
No. Is it the red or the yellow one?
So Noob Saibot is like the all-black one. Usually, I can't believe you don't know Noob Saibot. I'm excited to talk to you about Noob Saibot. Barrett,
You got so excited.
Barrett, you need to bring up big
Maybe if I
pictures of
see
Noob
it.
Saibot.
Let me see.
Now,
Show me Noob Saibot.
Where do you think Noob Saibot's name comes from?
Is it the, like you're a newbie? Like that type of
No.
thing? Oh,
I
what
can
is
see
it?
why you think that.
Yeah.
Think further. All right, it's an anagram situation.
An anagram.
I guess anagrams it might be doing too much. Basically, if you spell noob backwards, it says Boon. Ed Boon, of course, creator of Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Saibot, spelled backwards, Tobias. Tobias, the other person, who's like lead on Mortal Kombat.
So it's them connected.
It's their like names backwards. Is where the
Okay.
Noob Saibot comes from. He's just a shadowy character that does a bunch of cool shit, teleports and shit. Looks super cool. He's homies with Smoke.
Oh, I totally thought this was Smoke every time I would see him.
Because in certain games, I believe Mortal Kombat Deception, they're
Yeah.
like a tag team situation where you switch out Noob and Saibot, or sorry, Noob and Smoke, because they have similar vibes.
Yeah.
You know, Smoke's all
Yeah, I just thought they were the same character. Okay, Noob Saibot, everybody.
Noob Saibot.
He kind of looks like Mask of the Phantasm from
What words are you saying
from
right now?
Batman.
Batman. Yeah. Like, look at that second one. Like, look at the mask right there. Kind of looks like that. Yeah. The real nerds know.
I love this guy.
The real gamers know.
Grasshopper Direct is set for Wednesday, July 31st. Mirthwood.
Wait, I'm sorry.
What's up?
What is that?
Grasshopper Direct.
Yeah.
Is that just A bunch of grasshoppers telling us
Metacritic's
what
gonna
they're
be
up
there.
to?
It's Grasshopper Games, who's like the Suda51's studio.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they made No More Heroes
I
and
was
stuff.
really scared that we're about to get an announcement of world domination from
A bunch of grasshoppers, like they're on a podium, like it's a fucking like presidential rally. They're like, we're running, it's time. This country needs to get turned around. We're going. Good for them. Mirthwood is launching on September 11th on PC, and then Arco launches August 15th on Nintendo Switch and PC. And that's it for Wii News. We got some super chats, Roger.
Yay.
CJ Splitson says, will Amazon be the official game show service? When he says game show, he's not talking about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He's talking about like video game adaptation.
Oh.
This goes back to our conversation earlier about
Yeah.
Yakuza.
Yeah.
Do we think Amazon's gonna, find carve out a niche?
I think it's gonna be like everybody's fighting for it, but I think Amazon's has the money, right? So they're of course going to over here making the Yakuza show, which I think is a little bit more niche, right? They're like going in there and finding like I think they're gonna find the smaller shows that are gonna get big, but I think we're gonna have like what is it? The Netflix show. The Netflix is gonna have
Horizon.
Horizon.
Well, they were gonna have Horizon.
I think it's still gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Halo. I don't know. It's Paramount, I guess. Maybe they're gonna reboot that sometime. So I think
Amazon's got God of War though.
that's true. I think
Does
it's-
Amazon have God of War?
Oh yeah, and they have Fallout. You're right about that. I guess I wasn't thinking about that.
Wait, is it really Amazon that has God of War?
Yeah.
Oh, that changes my answer to this question. Yeah, I think they're gonna.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Dominate in the space. My thing with it is that I've had conversations on the show before. Where I think it was with Tim, where Tim's of God, I can't talk today.
Yeah.
Of another mind with it, where I don't think video game adaptations can be treated as a monolith necessarily, right? I kind of view them as different from comic books, where comic books, I feel like you have fewer, like at least on the large scale side, right? Fewer owners, where it is Marvel, DC, and then like everybody else starts to kind of fall under it, where I think video games are so varied in terms of who owns what IPs, how many different big publishers there are, how many different IPs there are that like work on a big level that you're able to license to do all these things. I don't think there could ever be a MCU of video games. I don't think there could ever be even like a Disney of video game adaptations. I think everybody's just going to get what they get. I think Amazon might double down a little bit more because I think the success of Fallout has been great. We'll see how Yakuza does. I'm sure that's going to do fine. I think a God of War is going to do great for them as well. I think they might see that and go, okay, maybe we should double down on this a bit more. But I don't ever see it being a thing of one network or one service they're the video game guys. Because I think everybody's going to be everywhere.
Because right now, fuck video games. Everybody's just trying to find IP that people know about. Period. End of story.
Yes.
Fucking, we'll do Polly Pocket the movie. We'll do Slinky the TV series. We don't give a shit. Like, just a name that people know that has cachet, we will do it. So that's what's going to happen here. It's like,
look at the Tetris Apple
Exactly.
Apple video
No, for
thing.
real. So like Amazon's got the money, so of course they're gonna have more than other people. But Netflix is also gonna have the Tomb Raider show and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the Tomb Raider animated show. So yeah.
Angad Sharma writes in and says, Blessing and Roger, thoughts on RDJ's return?
I mean, do we say that? I mean, I guess we're both not on the KFP.
Neither of us are on KFP.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm like, I feel like such a jaded Marvel fan right now because
I'm in the same boat.
yeah,
as you.
because like I loved Deadpool and Wolverine. I know you did not. I know you were kind of up in the air. I love Deadpool and Wolverine. I was like, man, Marvel's back. And then they make this choice, and I'm like, I get it. I understand why they made the choice, but this does not excite me, right? Like I wanted a Doom to feel different and be unique, and like especially when they did the tease, they were like the greatest actor in the world or whatever. I'm like, man, Daniel Day-Lewis, like fucking Denzel Washington. I don't know, like someone.
Can you imagine Denzel comes out?
I thought they were gonna go like someone crazy, and they're like RDJ. I'm like, I get it, I understand. It doesn't excite me. It kind of when I saw the whole band back together on the stage, it just kind of made me a little sad. I'm like,
Same.
we're just doing the same thing again, man. We had the opportunity to, after Endgame, to make things different, and then it didn't work. So then now we're just going back to the well of old things. And I get it, but whatever.
I was thinking about drafting a tweet, and then I kept deleting it in my brain. And I was like, the world doesn't need my negativity right now.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, it's the thing of I have never been so all in on a thing like Infinity Saga Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Infinity Saga MCU, I've never been so passionate,
Yes.
devout, invested in a thing. And in the same breath, I've never had a fall off of caring about something like post Infinity Saga MCU, where I feel like the further we get into it, it has become way more about the cameos, the reappearances. The Deadpool and Wolverine was such like the big offender of it, where I'm not going to spoil anything in Deadpool and Wolverine, but I feel like that movie was driven way more by cameos and appearances as opposed to actually having a good script and a good story. I think the movie was fun. I think the movie was a good time, but I wouldn't look at it as a great movie. Like if I'm making my Marvel listing, right? Like so many of the movies from the last couple of phases of MCU aren't cracking that top 10 for me.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is just that we've lost sight, and we've also gotten so muddy as far as the multiverse stuff. And like I think everybody who watches that kind of feels that, and I think even Marvel knows that. Like coming out of Deadpool and Wolverine, very much feels like Marvel knows that, right? The RDJ returning as Doctor Doom feels like the apex of it, where I'm like, okay, well, I know, well, it's very obvious what you're doing here, and like, I just don't care. Like, I feel like the multiverse being able to be anything and everything has muddied down the idea of being invested in something, right?
Yes.
Like, I feel like stories do better when there is focus and the stakes are obvious and you're able to kind of like tell a more contained thing. The multiverse stuff feels so blown open, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna watch Avengers Secret Wars, and I get this is what Secret Wars is in the comics, right? And so I'm not too mad at this movie doing what Secret Wars does, but I'm gonna watch Secret Wars, and it's gonna be, oh shit, all right, cool, Toby Spider-Man is
Everybody's here.
Oh, Wolverine is back. Oh, Cyclops is back. Oh, all these people are here, right? And I don't know, man. It feels like Retcon City to me in a way that I just can't be invested in.
Part of me is like, I know it was not going the right direction, and of course, Jonathan Majors is a piece of shit. I do wish that they kind of just recast it and they just stayed the course. And then, of course, Doom would have been a part of this no matter what, right? Like, I feel like that's where they were going anyways. Like, I think he would have probably...
we knew about Secret Wars for the longest time.
He was going to be
always going to lead to Doom.
Exactly. And they might even change the name, honestly, even without any of this happening. I would have seen that happening. But, like, I wish they just stayed the course with Kang and then just been like, oh, well, here's the big thing is that whatever it is. Like, I don't know. Like... this feels like a course correction, and it's going to be good. I know he's going to do a great job, and I know these movies are going to be really good.
Do you?
I think so.
Because I thought that about so many Marvel movies that have come out recently. I'm like, oh, certainly Ant-Man Quantumania is going to be good. I'm going to feel so excited about Kang. Watched it, wasn't good. Yeah. I'm sure Thor and Love and Thunder is going to be good. Watched it, wasn't good. I'm sure Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be fantastic. Watched it, it was whatever.
I have a real feeling that what they're going to do is that they're going to have this Doom, right, with RDJ, and then there's going to be another Doom that's going to be the real Doom or something like that, and then they're going to try to have the best of both worlds, and it's going to be good. He's going to do a good job. I don't think it's going to be the heights of what we needed Thanos to be, right? Like Thanos was, oh shit, this is this monster of a being that like I'm scared of. I'm freaking out during Infinity War. He killed everybody. Holy shit. Doom, I don't know if you can recapture that so fast by just plugging in RDJ and just being like, okay, no, it's RDJ though, but he's evil. So it's also Dr. Doom. Like it feels like you're plugging holes.
And I'm not mad at the idea of them, shifting course, right? Because I think they have to. Like I'm with you that I think they could have recasted Kang, but I even think that the Kang stuff wasn't working, right? Even if they recasted Kang as whoever, I don't know, that wouldn't have done it for me either, right? With where we're at in the Kang story, maybe by the time we get to the finish line, they'll figure it out. But none of the variant stuff, none of the multiverse stuff is working for me. I feel over multiversed out. And it's not just Marvel's fault, even though Marvel's done a lot of the multiverse stuff. It is, multiverse is everywhere, right? I have gotten what feels like the peak of it with things like Everything Everywhere All at Once in Spider-Verse. I have gotten multiverse stuff with like so many other IPs now. And like Marvel doesn't feel, MCU, I should say, doesn't feel like the peak of multiverse. It feels like this is just another multiverse story that is very much cruising off the fact that there are so many celebrities that have been in Marvel movies before MCU that we can take and put in here, and people get excited because they see a familiar face.
And again, not to spoil anything for Deadpool 3, but like I feel like that also takes the wind out of my sails a little bit for Secret Wars, because it's like, oh, we're doing this here, and we already did this in Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like we're already doing it, right? It's not like Secret Wars is going to be the first time we see Hugh Jackman back. Yeah. Like this is going to be a repeat of a repeat of a repeat by the time we get there. I just hope that we get to Secret Wars, we just reboot it. We reboot it. We take all the parts. We take the parts that we like. We do people retire. They fully retire, and then we're like, no, this is 1.0.
That's something we talked about when we did when Tim did his live reacts on Saturday to all this news. Was like the hope is after Secret Wars, it is a true reset point.
Keep Fantastic Four, keep whoever you want, but like, hey, Miles is the new Spider-Man or whatever it is. Like, just fucking reboot it and start fresh. So
honestly, with Doom, I'm more concerned about how they're going to build him up as a villain over the course of 3 years versus Thanos, who was like, granted, not there all of the time, but was teased in 2012 and then finally came into fruition in 2018 and then 2019. Like that was slowly built up over the course of 6-7 years. Whereas like
we have 2 years.
Yeah, we have 2 years until Doomsday apparently, and like we just haven't done any. And I think this would have been my problem, even if Kang is still a part of this and stuff. Is like we knew Secret Wars was gonna spell Doom, right? and we just haven't gotten any of that yet. And so that's the main thing I'm concerned about. Really, the thing I wanted to chime in with is just showing off this highlight clip of Tim trying to process RDJ as Doom.
Were you saying
I didn't
this
watch this a
earlier?
lot.
Yeah, but I was like, what? Oh my God, what?
Were you saying this earlier?
Jesus Christ.
My favorite thing is that he said World War Hulk, and I was like, what? I don't know where he got World War Hulk from, but I love that. I love that that's where he went.
Hell yeah. And obviously, like, if you love Marvel, you love Marvel,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yums. I know people in chat are always going to be people in chat
Fucking
about it.
grumpy old men. It's
Oh,
like,
you guys all fucking haters. Oh, move on. Let people
whatever.
enjoy things. It's like, no, I want to let you enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not out here being like, don't watch Marvel. Guess what? I'm going to watch all these fucking movies.
yeah, exactly.
I'm going to watch all this shit.
And that's why I said to me, I'm going to love this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really good, but I also think it's disingenuous to look at somebody and be like, you can't like this because
Yeah.
I like it.
How dare you not love everything?
How dare you be pessimistic about a
like-
trillion-dollar company fucking
Yeah.
throwing in the person that died and that was the big sacrifice to the last movie as a different character? Whatever.
Grow up. We got another super chat from Brando, who writes in and says, so excited for the Yakuza TV series. 8 is still my... Oh, actually, no. I already read this one. So I think we're good. No, yeah, we're good on super
Fuck
chats.
yeah, everybody.
You fucking did it. Roger, now it's time. Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, or you write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Kebab says Roger putting his hands up wouldn't have helped the audio listeners. Luckily, I don't think any audio listeners care about
I mean, it's also live.
Kill the Justice League.
I was talking about the live audience. The podcast audience, they can figure it out. There's time codes.
Listen, hey,
there's time
podcast
codes.
listeners, I care about you. All
Sorry,
right?
there's time codes.
I care
That's
about
what I
you.
meant. I apologize. I
'Cause
love you.
listen,
I love you.
Listen,
I love
I
you.
believe Roger's joining Andy on the hating audio listeners.
I love the audio listeners.
Look.
You're nicer to me than the live chat. You're so nice to me because you don't talk to me. So I love you.
This is what I'll say. Fuck the video viewers. You know what I
Whoa.
mean? Yeah. If you watch this on video, fucking download Spotify like an adult. You
like
know
an
what I mean?
adult. Get a subscription.
Get a
Figure it the
subscription.
fuck out.
I mean,
Yes.
here's the thing. Should we just I'm just gonna cut out camera feeds? You know?
This is a better show.
Yeah.
Guess what? This started as a podcast. It's gonna
we
remain
keep
a podcast.
this. We turn off the Twitch chat. Boom. We're good.
Boom.
We
Yeah,
have
that's
the
what I'm
best
saying.
podcast ever. You and I are gonna. Fuck
I'm
oh
a
my God.
podcast listener. I love me some podcasts. All right. I care about audio experience.
I love it.
If I can break these smoke machines, get them out of here too.
Yes.
Anon says Black Panther in Marvel 1943 is Azuri, father of T'Chaka, the grandfather
Whoa.
of T'Challa.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either. That's awesome. And Kebab says in Tolkien's Middle Earth lore, the land is meant to be our own prehistory, but forgotten. A big theme of the books is magic going away, leaving just the world of men, which becomes our world. I don't know if I asked that, Kebab, but I appreciate the writing.
Yeah, it's about dragons.
They asked about it, or I asked about dragons. Yeah. That's it for kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Roger, it's been another episode of KFGD. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. If you're an audio listener, I know you don't have a comment section. Scream out the window how much you just hate
Spotify has a comment section now.
No way.
I believe so.
Well, then write in the Spotify Spotify comment section how much you hate the video watchers.
And be nice to me there, please.
Enjoy the GAMESCAST next, Screencast, whatever we call it, next, and then the stream after that. Until next time, Game Daily.